Welcome back, my good people. I'm your host, P. Shout out to all my returning subscribers. If you're new to the channel, don't forget to hit that bell before you go so you know when I drop a new video. All right, now, people, if there was ever a movie I was destined to see in my lifetime, this is it. On Pinpoint Pictures today, we're reviewing Masters of the Universe. I've been super busy since its release, so I'm a bit late with this review, but still got to drop my 2 cents in the mix. I love Masters of the Universe. But does this long-awaited adaptation finally get the fans a definitive live-action He-Man movie? Or is it another missed opportunity trapped in the shadows of the beloved 80s franchise? Well, let's start. A 2026 fantasy movie based on the cartoon and toy series, directed by Travis Knight, starring Nicholas Galitzine, Jared Leto, Camila Mendes, and Idris Elba. A young man on Earth discovers a fabulous secret legacy as the prince of an alien planet and must recover a magic sword and return home to protect his kingdom. The film follows Prince Adam, who was separated from Eternia as a child and raised on Earth after fleeing his home world. 15 years later, he finds the legendary Sword of Power, which leads him back to Eternia, where he discovers the kingdom has been shattered and fallen under the rule of Skeletor. Then he must embrace his destiny as He-Man and unite with Teela and Man-at-Arms to save his family and reclaim the planet. So the story really isn't far from the animated series, with a few minor details and tweaks added plus time on Earth. I definitely feel like they honored the vibe of the 80s cartoon and updated enough to resonate with the modern audience. But there's no doubt in my mind that most of the true fans who were right there in front of the TV as a kid, humming the theme song and collected every action figure, vehicles, castles, and the slime pit, such as myself, man. 80s babies. All of those He-Man fans, we're living on a dream right now, having this new version in theaters. And unlike many, I love the old Dolph Lundgren version. At that time, anything He-Man related, I was all for. And Dolph did his thing for the most part, but that's another story for another time. Let's start with the biggest question on most people's mind. Did Nicholas Galitzine pull off He-Man? Absolutely. Made it work, and I'll be the first one to tell you, when they first announced his casting as He-Man, I was skeptical as hell. I don't know, man. I was just wanting it to be right. I just needed it done right. But Galitzine had the impossible task of playing one of the most iconic action heroes of the 80s while making him relatable for today's audiences. And he nailed it. The film presents Adam as someone disconnected from his past, yet he still remembers enough to want to get back to it, not expecting to see the damage that's been done by Skeletor or even fully understanding how he's the key to Eternia's salvation. So he isn't just waiting to become He-Man, he has to earn it. That's the emotional journey, giving his character more depth than many of us fans expected to see. Then he finally raises the sword and says those magical words. Those are exactly the kind of moments to get the audience hyped. Now let's talk about Skeletor. With my guy Jared Leto's performance is top notch. Some people are going to love the larger-than-life theatrical energy he brings, while others may find it a little over the top. Personally, I think Skeletor nails it because the movie embraces the weirdness of his character. Trying to make Skeletor completely serious would have been a mistake. Instead, the movie matches his comic book cartoonish villain roots. He's menacing, he's theatrical, unpredictable, and every scene becomes more entertaining when he enters it. In the first teaser trailer, we didn't hear him speak, so that had a lot of people worried about what his voice would sound like and if that'll mess up the movie. Not at all. He's working with a deep, diabolical Shakespearean accent, and the laugh is on point too. So he can still pull off the evil but somewhat goofy energy from the cartoon, while his presence gives the movie an unforgettable villain. Now, Teela and Evelyn are great supporting roles, not a whole lot to do, but somehow still manage to match their energy from the cartoon. I feel like they gave us enough of our fan favorite characters with about the same amount of screen time they'd usually get in an episode, except Cringer slash Battlecat. He's sadly underused in here. And then on the bad guy side, there should have been a little more Triclops, but everybody has a role to play. Another funny thing is upon cast reveals, there was some backlash about Man-at-Arms being race swapped. Now, come on, we talking about a fictional character here. It's not that deep. Y'all really got to chill with that. We talking about Stringer Bell from The Wire that made it all the way to Eternia. And let's be real for a second, because if Idris Elba is in your movie, he's probably handling business in all his scenes. And that's exactly what happens here. His version of Duncan, aka Man-at-Arms, feels like the strong and wise mentor figure fans have always known, and the cinematography embraces Eternia's colorful fantasy aesthetic instead of trying to make everything dark and gritty. But really, I mean, that's a great thing and all, because He-Man should be fun, even though in my mind, I would love to see Masters of the Universe done raw and uncut, kind of like in the Game of Thrones fashion. But everything about this movie is nostalgic and spot on, from accurate costume design to Castle Grayskull and Snake Mountain looking incredible. The action is surprisingly strong. Fight choreography is clear and easy to follow, avoiding the overly chaotic editing that hurts many of the people's eyes when you're watching it. The final confrontation between He-Man and Skeletor delivers exactly what longtime fans wanted on the big screen. We get a lot of comic relief that's a bit hit and miss, but not as goofy as the Thor movies can get. Final act brings together everything the movie's been building toward. Adam finally accepts the mantle of He-Man, because they actually don't call him He-Man until the end, and what works so well is that the victory feels earned since Adam is victorious, because he finally understands who he is. And that's the emotional payoff the entire movie has been built toward. The film understands that its purpose is just to entertain, and while it doesn't reinvent fantasy cinema, it gives fans the adaptation we've been waiting for decades, and even gives newcomers that love
Gary
to dig into. With that said, and all biases aside, I'm going to give Masters of the Universe 4 stars out of 5. Definitely, y'all. I mean, hey, it's a fun, ambitious fantasy adventure that embraces the spirit of He-Man while introducing Eternia to a new generation. I don't care what the box office is talking about. This is a hit in my book, done correctly, and if supported properly, it can open the doors to a live adaptation of Thundercats. And let's keep our fingers crossed. Even with the drama surrounding Jared Leto, I can see a path to a trilogy here, even if he doesn't come back as Skeletor. Even though we need that major villain, I still see Hordak is out there lurking. And don't get me started on the Snake Men. Now that would be fire. Thanks for joining this deep dive into the latest live action adaptation of Masters of the Universe. Was it worth the decades-long wait? I certainly enjoyed it enough to see it twice, once solo and one time with the kiddos. Can't wait till it's available Blu-ray and digital. It will make the collection. If you've seen the new movie, where would you rank it alongside the 87 original? Drop your thoughts in the comments section. If you enjoyed this review, be sure to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell. We got more reviews, deep dives, and movie breakdowns coming your way right here on Pinpoint Pictures. Until the next time, I'm your host, Pete. Remember, y'all be safe out there.